And so she'll push back, right? Because she's feeling that there's hesitation there. She's feeling that her man, her protector, her provider, is hesitant or scared or nervous about asking or having that conversation. She is going to test to see his resolve. And if he falters and has a history of faltering or going into nice guy mode, she is going to go, this isn't real. It's just like when he said, you know what, I'm going to go on a ketogenic diet. And he goes on it for half of a day and then he's eating breakfast burritos, or whatever. She doesn't trust his resolve. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the TPM Show. And today we're going to do something special. Today we have Christopher Hansen joining us. Christopher's on the front lines. He actually receives the calls, the emails that come in from men that are struggling. Guys like you that are saying, hey, look, I need a little help. And Chris is one of our head advisors on the TPM staff. And so Chris has culminated a bunch of questions, and we're going to go through some of those today. Man, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Doug. Super excited. This is my, I think, third time getting the opportunity to come hop on the podcast. And yeah, it's always just a blessing to be here. So thank you.
Yeah, well, it's great. I mean, we talked about this previously, and I know this is not what we planned on talking about, but the TPM Ranch is a 106-acre ranch, and we have a couple properties here where we help men in live events, and you and your family recently relocated out here. So it's just great having you close proximity, man.
Yeah, the feeling is mutual. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Here. It's a great place.
So what questions do you have for us today?
Yeah, so we've compiled some questions. I think the first one that I want to start with came from our Facebook group.
Okay.
So we've asked the men in the Facebook group to just submit some questions they thought would be good to have answered on the podcast. This one comes from Jeremy. How to ask for what you want without sounding and coming off as needy.
Okay, so that's a really good question. And in my experience, personally, but also working with men, and then my wife who works with women, it's an energetic issue. It's the way you ask something. If you want to ask for what you want, and it's truly just a desire, what I would do in this situation is go to my partner, my wife, and say, hey, babe, there's something I really need to talk to you about. I feel like this is missing for me, and this is something I feel like I need. And that isn't needy because the tone I use and everything else is very direct. And it's just, hey, you're my partner, and this is something I need, and I'm coming to you to share this. Where men falter is easier to talk about, right? So let's go back. I'll go back after this and talk about how you get into that energetic state that you want to be in after this. But where men falter is they are coming in and they're anticipating an outcome. They have an expectation of the reaction that they're going to get. And so with that hesitation in their energetic state, their wife can pick that up right away. And so she is naturally, if she doesn't like what the request is, or maybe perhaps maybe not doesn't like, but she has issues, or she's going to test to see if it's real. And so she'll push back, right? Because she's feeling that there's hesitation there. She's feeling that her man, her protector, her provider, is hesitant or scared or nervous about asking or having that conversation. She is going to test to see his resolve. And if he falters and has a history of faltering or going into nice guy mode, she is going to go, this isn't real. It's just like when he said, you know what, I'm going to go on a ketogenic diet. And he goes on it for half of a day and then he's eating breakfast burritos, or whatever. She doesn't trust his resolve. But when he goes and he has no expectation of the outcome, he knows that he needs this. This is something I need for me. I need this for me. It's a desire. It's a need. And he goes with that confidence and he lovingly requests this from his partner. She can tell that. And when she pushes back, he is naturally going to be grounded and be like, no, this is a need for me. And she's going to feel that force between them. And in my experience coaching thousands of men at this point, 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, if the man is really resolved, the woman will surrender into that. Unless it's a really weird request, right? I mean, some guys have some really weird kinks or something that they want to request that the woman's not down for. And so a way a guy gets into that energetic state is something we call at TPM grounded masculinity. But there's a lot of breath work that we teach our men that they can do, getting grounded, getting reassured, getting in touch with who they are, and really filling their self cup up and their self-love. And we teach guys how to do this. We call it getting activated. That's why we have something called the activation method. It's a method to do this. So getting activated, getting grounded in yourself allows you to go to that. And my wife would say that is the sexiest thing a man can do. She's like, it's not your abs. It's not all the other stuff that, we think traditionally are sexy for a woman. It's that energetic state and coming to your wife and saying, hey, I need this, right? And that's the biggest thing a man can do.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, do you feel like coming with those requests or into that conversation from that place, and from my experience with my wife?
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt this episode, but the reality is if you are watching or listening to this right now, then you are looking to better yourself. And I applaud you. You're one of my people. And I want to give you the opportunity of taking massive action. So if you haven't joined the activation method yet, it's our flagship program. Do what thousands of other businessmen just like you have done and take action. Be one of the 1%ers that actually does the work and takes action. There'll be a link in the description that'll take you right to a page that'll just give you more information. There is no obligation. Just go check it out and see if it's a good fit for you. All right, let's get back to this episode.
She's wants to then fulfill those needs. She wants to hear those requests as long as they're coming from that place.
Yeah, I mean, think about it this way, Chris, or Jeremy, or whoever's listening to this. If your wife came to you and said, you would make me truly happy and fulfilled in my life and made me feel completely loved and desired by you, I'm requesting you do this one thing. You take out the trash or whatever it is. Most men in their natural state, if the woman came in a very loving, feminine manner, it would be like, heck yeah, no problem. That's what I want to do. I think men want to have their woman telling the other wives how amazing they are behind their back, right? So our wives want the same thing. Our wives want to fulfill our desires, right? They want to look at us as the provider or protector to allow them to be in their feminine energy. So if that's the case, right, one of the ways they do that is by taking care of their man. But they don't want to take care of a boy. Very big distinction. And so when we go with the needy energy, or we go inspect, like, oh my gosh, okay, so my wife's Erin. If I go, man, I'm going to ask Erin if she can do something for me, whether it be sexual or non-sexual, whatever it is. But oh man, she's gonna say no. She might. I don't know what's gonna happen here. And I'll go, hey babe, there's this thing. I'm hoping you do this for me. That's a boy energy. That's a very nervous, not grounded. I'm not stable. That throws her off her center. She now doesn't feel safe. So she needs to test to see if this is safe ground and push back. And that's where guys crumble. They take it as their wife being mean, degrading, or disrespectful, when really she's doing a safety test. She's begging for, is this safe for me? But if I come in and go, hey babe, something I really need you to do is I need you to make the bed in the morning, because for me, when you make the bed and I come home after a long day of work, I feel, right, that the house is taken care of, home base is taken care of, and that allows me to go out there and conquer more. It's just something I need. Are you able to do that? And 9 times, what I did there, by the way, I never blamed her for anything. I made a request, and I also told her why that was important to me. And I asked her if she has buy-in for that request. And so those 4 elements are really important, and guys miss those 4. I also didn't come in with trepidation of, oh my gosh, okay, my wife's a stay-at-home wife. If I ask her to make the bed, is she going to think I'm degrading her or anything else? Because if I would have said that, she'd be like, make the own freaking bed yourself, right? Or come, and she should. But the way I explain it, and I'm showing up as a man and fulfilling her boundaries and her desires as well, and I'm open to it, because she might go, yeah, that's no problem, but would you mind making sure you put the toilet seat down? Which is a conversation I had with my wife recently, right? I have this whole thing that putting a toilet seat down, right, is two methods. I have to put it down. I have to lift it up. If I leave it down, she doesn't have to do anything. So it's not really fair. And she said, you know what? When you put the toilet seat down, for me, it feels like chivalry. It feels like you're doing this, like opening a car door for me to show me that you're my man. I went, toilet seat down, not a problem.
Yeah.
Right? Totally different paradigm.
Yeah.
She explained what that means to her for me to respect that request of hers. That goes the other way too. Hey, would you make the bed for me? Or hey, what makes me feel like your man is oral, when you give me oral sex, right? A blowjob, right? And this is why. I find that my wife would be much more open to honoring that request if I tell her why. Now, she can give me pushback. I got to be open to it. If I'm open, go, okay, you don't like to do that. All right, let me think about that. And now we have a dialogue where there's no emotional reaction coming through. What I used to do, Chris, this is a long time ago now, is I would have a snap reaction because I'd have an expectation coming into it. And I'll use the blowjob example. If I requested, hey, makes me feel more like your man when I get blowjobs from you, makes me feel like you're my woman, et cetera, et cetera. And my wife would have said something like, well, I don't like doing that. Then I would go, well, geez, and I'd fly off the handle and get upset. Well, I really need those. And if you don't get them from you, I'm going to get them from somewhere else, or what have you. Then she's going to lose respect. She's going to see that I'm reactionary. And I'm going to DEAR mode. And DEAR mode is something we talk about a lot. DEAR is an acronym for defend, excuse, explain, and my favorite one, react.
Yeah. Right.
And when you do that into DEAR mode, you are now the prey, right? Where a wolf is wise, open, loving, and fierce. And so when I go into that same conversation without emotional charge, without caring what her reaction is going to be, I'm just going to say, hey, this is something I need. She can provide feedback from what she needs and wants, and we can have a dialogue about it. That's a different energy, and it's a very open conversation.
Yeah, and just staying detached from the outcome.
100%.
Right.
Engaged in difference.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome question.
Yeah, thanks.
Guys, so if you guys have questions and you want us to answer them on the TPM show, just go ahead and go email those into VIP@thepowerfulman.com. That is VIP, like very important person, @thepowerfulman.com. Or you can post them in our free Facebook group. Josh is in there, one of our advisors, managing that for us. And if you're one of the lucky people, we've got early access to the Powerful Man app that you can find in iTunes or Google Play. You can ask those questions in there as well. Well, we have a private thread. Now, we're not opening up access to that until late February or early March. You can download the app now, but just know that you can't get access quite yet. But if you do email in to VIP@thepowerfulman.com, request for access, one of our advisors can give you an access code or put you on the waiting list. Guys, make it a great day. As I always say, in the moment of insight, take massive action, and we'll see you next time on the TPM Show.